built on relationships, backed by results. AMR.
The pipeline is civilian crude.
Some here in the Kansas City area are trying to stop it in its tracks. Abby Dodge spoke with local researchers testing a possible vaccine. So, Abby, how far along is this study?
Dr. John Ervin is leading his team in the research.
This is by far, I feel, the most important trial that we've ever done.
The FDA is fast-tracking the research. What normally takes years to approve is being done in months.
You know, you hear about these 10,000 volunteers going to New York out of retirement to work for free. Gosh. You know, so there is that kind of a feeling. And when I feel that people are doing that, I feel an obligation to, do what I can do.
For Ervin, that's putting his experience in more than 100 vaccine trials to good use.
There is an all-out sprint underway to develop a vaccine for the coronavirus, and there is no time to lose.
We've never seen drug development proceed at this pace, and particularly the intensity. There, as I said earlier, there are 45 different vaccine candidates, and they're different.
Dr. William Smith is the founder of Knoxville-based Alliance for Multi-Specialty Research. The company is at the forefront of clinical trials. AMR has 17 sites around the country, including at the University of Tennessee. Earlier this month, the company launched one of the first human clinical trials at its Kansas City site.
They knew there was a possibility they'd test a vaccine for COVID-19, but actually being told to gear up for that cure.
Great, elated, honored.
Doctor and medical researcher Mark Adams has studied vaccines for years. About 2 months ago, Alliance for Multi-Specialty Research, or AMR, told his office they could be studying a potential vaccine for COVID-19. About 2 weeks ago, they found out they were moving forward. So far, workers inside his office have gone through training for administering the potential vaccine, and that includes a new technique for how that's given. So starting next week, they'll be bringing in healthy patients to see how this affects them. Those patients will keep a diary detailing how they feel day to day, and hopefully they can call this vaccine a success. It's a process that's being fast-tracked and one that usually takes years.
If you think about it, you're looking at the first quarter of next year, perhaps maybe second quarter.
So AMR is seeking healthy patients to participate in this trial. They estimate that there will be a few groups, the first one starting next week. Reporting in Lexington, Krista Frost, WKYT.
With me now is Dr. John Ervin. He is the medical director for the Center for Pharmaceutical Research and is one of just 2 clinical research sites selected for COVID-19 vaccine studies in the nation. Doctor, thank you so much for being here. I have so many questions. But first, you say, and you've worked on hundreds of vaccine trials, that this one is the most important trial we have ever done, and you've already started injecting it into healthy humans.
That's true. I think that there's nothing that we have ever dealt with like this pandemic, which therefore makes this by far, I think, the most important vaccine or trial of any type that we've ever done.
One thing that I find so interesting is that your trial does not actually include any live COVID-19 virus. So then how does it work?
Well, most vaccines that we do nowadays do not contain live viruses, but what they do is they have the DNA genetic code that is found on the cell wall of the virus, so that when we inject this into the human host, the immune system recognizes that DNA code and as a foreign object or foreign invader, develops antibodies against that DNA code. Therefore, when the real thing comes along, when the virus comes along with that same DNA code, we have antibodies that are able to neutralize that virus and basically then prevent the infection from occurring.
I feel privileged to be doing this trial. You know, you read about these 10,000 volunteers going to New York out of retirement to work for free. Gosh, you know. So there is that kind of a feeling. And when I feel that people are doing that, I feel an obligation to, do what I can do.